So core values, what are they and why are they important? Well, here at Matt Smith Real Estate Group, our core values are our guardrails. They are what help us influence what decisions we make, how we can help more people. If we ever get stuck in a decision, we don't know go right or go left. Do they fit in our principles? Do they fit in our values? Those are our North Star. Like every decision we make, everything that we do is within these values. And I think it's so crucial to a culture, to an environment, to people you care about, to have a set of values that you believe in collectively together, that you have the same people, the people with the same mission, the same values, the same things that are important to them, that you're rowing in the same direction to accomplish amazing things together. Believe. We believe in the big picture, the direction we are all collectively going, and exactly what needs to be done to get there. We are enthusiastic, passionate, and believe in everything that Matt Smith Real Estate Group stands for, including these core values. We stand for and protect our culture and core values above all else and live by them both inside and outside of the office. This is who we are fundamentally at our core, and we believe in that. So believe is a core value that we used to have when we originally founded Matt Smith Real Estate Group, and we had shortened up our core values for multiple reasons. And this one was just so important to me and to our organization that we just kept finding ourselves bringing it back up in conversation over and over and over again. And so we have reintroduced that as one of our core values. And it is so important that if we as a team, as a organization are doing amazing things together, that we all believe in the same values. We believe in the same core values and we're on the same mission. And so without believe, our core values were just kind of lacking a little. And so it was really important to me that we brought believe back and we all believe in the big picture and where we're collectively going as a team.
The believe core value to me represents believing in our company's mission, our core values, our core focus, what we're doing together. And I think that belief is something that unites all of us too. It's not just Jenna's belief or Matt's belief or whoever's belief. It's our united belief as a team in our mission and who we are as a company so we can go out and change more lives.
Believe to me is very similar to when they say to have faith the size of a mustard seed. And so I'm so glad that we brought it back as a core value to the team. Whenever you're starting out in real estate, there's so many unknown things, but whenever you're joining our team, we have the best proven processes, the best systems. We are the best in the industry. And so anyone who just believes in themselves and believes in the team and they have that faith that they can move mountains in real estate, it's so crucial and vital to have in the industry. That small belief can carry you a long way in the industry.
Life in general, relationships are crucial. And I think you'll find that in unison with all these core values is that they are not just something we do at work. They are who we are and what we believe in fundamentally as people. And so I think that if we as people focus on the relationships, and specifically to be more specific, we'll use relationships for our acronym, but what it really is build positive and fun relationships. I think we need more positivity in the world. We need to have more fun too, right? And so if we can have more positive and fun relationships with our clients, with our community, and with our coworkers, with our team, it's a win-win for everyone. Like everybody could use more positive and more fun relationships. And so I think just having that as an intention and as a focus for our daily life and in our business, I think just makes the world a better place.
The reason that relationships are so important that we've made it one of our core values is relationships are everything in this world. Everywhere you go, at home, at work, when you're out at Walmart, wherever you're at, relationships hold so much value. They help individuals grow. The relationships that you build, you help others grow. You teach, you educate, and you just have those bonds. Those bonds are developed upon support and sympathy and empathy, and relationships just hold so much value. They're a part of our everyday life.
Relationships to me are encompassing what's going on at work, what's going on outside of work, and I'm fortunate that we work with so many amazing people. Our culture is one of a kind, and we enjoy hanging out with those people in all areas. So to get to know them on a professional level, to get to know people on a personal level, I have just been able to build lifelong relationships within the team, and it's something that will always have a special place in my heart.
What I love about relationships, it's not just internal. Like, yes, we do focus on building relationships internally. We do that through team events. We do that through all sorts of like team-oriented things, team meetings, margaritas Fridays, even that kind of stuff. We do lots of stuff to build relationships internally. But what I really love is that we do so much to build relationships externally with our community, that we're consistently just being the best version of ourselves for others. So whether it's an agent on the other side of a contract, or we're doing a community event for something else, we're always focused on building relationships, both internally and externally.
Education has evolved as far as our core values go. So core values have always been a big part of what we do here, but our core value used to be always be learning. And we actually switched it to education. And we switched it because of, actually of all people, Amanda Gann is actually the one responsible for changing this. So it's very near and dear to my heart because so is she. But she changed it to education, requested the change to education, and her pitch to me was, man, I love that we're always learning. We can always educate ourselves. But she said, I believe part of what we should do as real estate professionals is educate our clients and educate our community on the biggest purchase or sale of their life. And she said, so I think it's two-part. We need to educate ourselves so we can continue to be better, but let's also educate the clients and pass that be a vessel to pass that information and education through to our clients and community that we serve.
So education is a core value. It's kind of a hard one as to why it's a core value. You're always looking to grow. This is something we talk about in quarterly reviews sometimes is, well, I'm not as educated as I could be. It's not about how educated you are, it's about the drive to be educated. It's about the drive to learn. So if you have the desire to learn more, to do more, and you have the grit to make that happen, you're gonna do great things. And that's like a key to anything, you know? So I think that's the best way I can put it for education being a core value.
I would like to say that I encourage others to educate themselves, one, by leading by example. So I'm always taking the extra step to work on my personal self-development, whether it's real estate, whether it's leadership skills, always learning from people who are where I want to be. And so first and foremost, I would say leading by example. Two is through educating in our role plays, our agent huddles, our sales meeting, our lunch and learns that we have, always coming from a place of where are people at in their business and how can I help them take that another step further and another step further.
Go the extra mile. This is a core value that, similar to believe, we had previously when we originally founded the company. And when we condensed our core values, we just kind of tried to tie it in as a hybrid to another core value. We tied it in with initiative, right? We saw similarities, but we also realized that they're so different in so many ways that we decided to bring go the extra mile back. And it was really important to me to bring it back because I see daily how our company lives and breathes this core value. They continuously go the extra mile for each other, go the extra mile for our clients, go the extra mile for our community. And I could give you countless stories of so many amazing things that have happened because of this core value. I believe in today's society, there's a gap in just simple customer service. If we as a company believe in going the extra mile on a daily basis consistently for everyone we interact with, we are going to be able to serve people at a much higher level and give them the service that they deserve when they're making the biggest purchase or sale of their life in real estate. And I think it's just our duty and our obligation to do that for our clients. And we live it and we breathe it. And so we might as well bring that back as a value, because what I believe makes values different here is that it's not something we say, it's who we are. It's what we live, it's what we do, it's how we correct our behavior, it's how we reward people in our company, it's how we treat our clients in our community. And if we're already living go the extra mile, we definitely need it a part of our core values.
So our team goes the extra mile in so many different ways. We believe the client experience is at the absolute center of our team. Our team revolves around that client experience. We want it to be always growing and evolving and getting better and better every single day. I think the client experience is the biggest testament of us going the extra mile. We're constantly improving our processes and we're constantly reassessing so we actually even have an experience team, and that's anybody who's like the marketing department, the operations department, our coordination team, our client care specialists. We get together once a month and all we do is talk about how we can improve our client experience. We observe throughout the month, what are some things that we saw that maybe, there was a gap that we found, or maybe it was, this is working, but I think it could work better. We're constantly reassessing those things to the point to where we have like that monthly meeting just focused on it. Another thing that we're doing, the coordination team and client care, they're even doing a team read right now on, it's a book called Customer Satisfaction is Worthless and Customer Loyalty is Priceless. That customer customer experience. You know, a lot of companies can just check a box with customer satisfaction. Every customer should be satisfied, right? Like that's the bare minimum. We choose to not check that box, but instead like go the extra mile and really find ways to over deliver for our clients and really make them feel, one, like the most special people in the world, and then two, that this process, because buying and selling a home is so stressful. I mean, it really is. I've done it a couple times and it's, thankfully my husband takes care of all of it. I don't have to worry about it. It is very, very stressful. And our goal is to make it as smooth and seamless and enjoyable as possible. We're not looking to just say, hey, we'll take the burden from you, but it's, hey, we'll take the burden from you. We also want to help get you excited though, because this is an amazing next chapter. So I think that's probably the best way our team goes the extra mile.
How the team went the extra mile for me, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily with me, but a prime example of that is every November, December timeframe, we go shopping for Fostering Together and Toys for Tots. And it is amazing the amount of agents that and team members that show up. We go shopping. We have agents and team members use their personal funds, and then we take a big portion from the sales that we do overall. This is just a selfless act, giving back to the community, and to me, it's really going the extra mile in the community. When we first started, this was probably 3 or 4 years ago, we were taking probably about 20, 30 kids, and this year, between all of them, we were probably able to support easily 150 plus kids. And so just to see the compounding effect of going the extra mile around Christmas time is absolutely the best. And I love being surrounded by people who are just so selfless and willing to go the extra mile. When we say changing lives, it's not just for the team, but it's everyone involved that's surrounding us, everyone involved in the transaction, the community itself. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without them. And so watching the team every single year go the extra mile for Fostering Together, Toys for Tots, absolutely warms my heart.
Accept responsibility is a huge one. You can probably see it in my body language. That's a big one for me. And again, I said this earlier, but these values are not just something we do at work. It's not something we pretend to do. It's who we are. I don't know about you. I want to be around people that want to accept responsibility for all the things in their life, good and bad. And I believe that we all, whether we're willing to admit it to ourselves or not, we all want to be better. We want better circumstances. We want better finances. We want better health. We want better relationships, whatever it may be. We as human race strive to be better. And I think that a key component to that is to accept responsibility. You are exactly where you are because of the choices you made and the decisions you made. By the way, not making a choice is a choice. I'll say this as politically correct as I can. We have enough victims in today's society that I just don't think the world needs more of that. I think the world needs more people that own their outcomes. And what's cool about that, if you truly, like I'm an extremist and I accept responsibility to the end. If something happens and I'm in a car wreck and get rear-ended, I'm going to look and say, how did I cause this? What impact did I play in this becoming thing? Well, number one, I was in the car. Number two, maybe I could have checked the rearview mirror earlier to avoid being rear-ended versus how dare this person rear-end me and come out screaming and cussing and yelling, right? And I just think that that's just one analogy of 1,000 that I could give. Again, I think the world, society, a business, a culture, a company, a community, any of those would be a way better place if we just accepted responsibility. It is what it is. Own up to it. If you want to change it, first step is you have to own it. Then you have to be willing to improve it and you can change it.
When it comes to accepting responsibility, so many people are afraid to fail. And I have seen with this team that because we make accepting responsibility a core value, everyone is very eager to own up to mistakes and they share with the whole team the mistakes that they made. And now we've all had so many opportunities to learn how they got there and what the resolution was to kind of get away from that. And so we all don't make those same mistakes again. With accepting responsibility, I want to encourage you to fail. With failure comes a lot of success. And every time you fail, I promise you're going to learn. And whenever you do that, you share it with the team like we all do here, and we all learn and we all grow. So I encourage you to fail and accept responsibility.
Accepting responsibility is extremely vital for teams. There's so many different facets that are intertwined in the real estate process, but whenever you can accept responsibility for something that's not going the right way in the real estate transaction, you can have the courage to know that the team is backing you up. You're going to get it fixed together and everything's going to end up just like it is supposed to. But you have to accept responsibility in order to do the right thing, get it corrected, and get to the closing table.
Accept responsibility is two parts. It's first the ability to say, I messed up, I did something wrong. You own your mistakes. But it's also, the second part would be, it's the accepting the responsibility to fix it and to see it through to the end. So if you make a mistake, or you're with a group of people and you all make a mistake, whatever that looks like, together or on your own, you're seeing it through to the end and you're fixing that mistake. You're accepting the full responsibility of it.
What accept responsibility means to me is, I feel like it's part of my entire character. It goes along with all of our other core values. But my core, I feel like accepting responsibility has always been something that I do, and that's really what drew me to the team and all of the core values. You cannot grow without accepting responsibility. You can't learn lessons from your mistakes, and also just ownership of that, and in owning the fact that you did that. You're a human being. Humans continuously grow. We continuously make mistakes. Owning that responsibility and saying, hey, I did this, will change your life forever.
First thing that comes to my mind on discipline is a cool program called 75 Hard. And it's a mental toughness program, mental toughness challenge, whatever you want to call it. But what I really love about it is that it teaches you discipline, and it teaches you time management. It teaches you so many different things, and to stay on discipline, it has really helped propel me forward in my life. I've done it 4 times now, and I'm committed to do it at least once a year for the rest of my life. I just think it's that important that we continue to strive to be better, and that discipline, again, equals that freedom. What is really cool has seen the ripple effect, or the domino effect, of me doing it and seeing other people inside of our organization complete it, and to see what happens after. They stay disciplined to themselves for those 75 days. They are a different human being. They have more confidence in themselves. They have more confidence in their abilities, their business. They're in a better mental space. They're in a better physical space, and their life is just set up to be way, way better. And it all comes down to the discipline they did or did not have. And so I think it's just important that if we tie all these core values together, and let's talk about accepting responsibility. If you don't own it, you can't change it, but you also have to be willing to do the work. And that requires a little bit of discipline to get that freedom that you desire. For those of you that maybe don't know what 75 Hard is, those of you that maybe aren't familiar with 75 Hard, is a mental toughness program, and it consists of a few different things for 75 days straight. It's very strict, right? You did or you didn't. It's not like, well, let me just kind of do it or do some of it. It's a program that, again, it teaches you discipline. You don't get a participation trophy for trying in 75 Hard. You either did it or you didn't. And so, as an example, is 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes a day for 75 days straight. One of those workouts must be outside. What I love about that element is it teaches you that there are things outside of your control, and you can't control everything. So how do you stay disciplined and stick to your commitments when it's raining outside, when it's cold and you can't control the weather, but you still have to go outside and do your workout? There are things that are outside of our control in this world, right? And it teaches you that discipline to push through those things. You have to stick to a diet. You read 10 pages of a kind of a self-help, become better type of book. You also have to take a progress picture each and every day. I think what's really cool about that is that shows you over a course of 75 days, you make a big transformation on your physical health if you do this program. I wish you could have a picture of your mental health, because I believe it's 10 times more effective. But what is crazy is if you look each and every day, you don't see much difference. But if you combine 75 days together, you see a massive change. And I think that's just a product of being willing to have that delayed gratification that we're missing in today's society. And that, again, it's just another component of the program.
The discipline is super important in the world of real estate, but not just in real estate, but personally too. It's how you achieve anything in life is through discipline. And to me, it's doing what you say you're gonna do, which sounds so elementary and sounds so simplistic, but really it's one of the most underrated skills, I believe, period, to follow through. If you say, I'm going to do XYZ, you then follow through and do XYZ. It's the discipline to see it through to the end.
How I maintain my discipline is I do a power list every morning, and it is my top 5 most important priorities that I have to get done that day. And that keeps me focused, and I never forget to do the things that are the most important to me in my life that day.
Discipline is important to me because without it, I would not be able to get half of what I have on my plate accomplished. In real estate, there's no such thing as creating a well-balanced plate of things. And so from being a wife, a parent, a real estate agent, a sales manager, a leader in the company, there's so many plates that if you aren't disciplined discipline and you're not being intentional with the time, you're going to run around like a chicken with your head cut off. I would say for me, the number one thing that helps me stay disciplined is my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, it's not happening.
Taking an initiative is a huge core value. I think too many people wait to be told what to do. They wait for, well, if someone would have told me, I would have. And what we are trying to encourage is for people to think ahead and where are we going to, and how can I get there before we get there? We teach people to jump ahead and to be proactive instead of reactive in their life and in their business. Especially in a workplace culture, if we have people that are proactively thinking ahead at all times, how much better is the company going to be versus a micromanaged environment that no one wants to be a part of? That, well, if they tell me to do ABC, I'll check the box and do it. I don't want that workplace environment. I want people that I trust, that believe in our core values, that are willing to take initiative and see the path and go out and build the path with us. We're working together, and I think taking initiative is a huge part of that.
Initiative means seeing something that needs to be done and not waiting for someone to tell you to do it. If you see something that is wrong or can be improved, because I think a lot of people get stuck on the something's wrong, so I need to fix it. I think it's also if you see opportunity for enhancement of a process, of a system, of whatever it may be, it's taking the initiative to say, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna ask for permission. So it's seeing an opportunity and saying, I'm gonna own it and make it happen. You're not waiting for someone to tell you, hey, yeah, go ahead and do it. You're just doing it.
What taking initiative means to me is that if you are ever seeing a problem or an opportunity, you are always the first one to jump in and take ownership in that.
What initiative means to me is seeing something that needs corrected and taking the action to get it done. The longer that you're in a bottlenecked system and you're trying to figure out, okay, who do I need to go to do this? Or what's the plan? What's the process? Just take initiative and do something. You're gonna get so much further than trying to line everything out. Something like with our core values, I love that Jenna took initiative to say, hey, here's a gap in our process. So our core values are the foundation of our team. We are deeply rooted in them. And the fact that Jenna took initiative, this is going to be life-changing for our team. Our core values are important, each and every one of them, but initiative is just doing the darn thing that you see needs done.
One of the reasons initiative is one of our core values is that this particular career, real estate, takes a ton of initiative. You can't just show up and wait for the leads to fall out of the sky. You have to take the initiative. It's extremely important for you to be self-motivated, and which goes along with initiative. You have to go out every day and find your work, and that's how you make a living. If you don't have initiative in this career, you will not succeed.
Integrity is the foundation of our core values. We even have a property management company that's called Integrity Property Management. And we put that name on purpose is because we were only willing to do a property management company if we could run it with integrity. And what better way to hold ourselves accountable than to put it in a name, right? This is a huge one. And I think integrity means so many things. In my personal definition, so let's talk about, like, if you were to look it up in the dictionary, it would say something to the effect of doing the right thing, even when no one is looking. That is integrity, right? We know right is right, wrong is wrong. Doing the right thing, even when no one is looking. I tweak the definition for myself. It is doing the right thing, especially when no one is looking. How do you act? Who are you? What decisions do you make when no one's gonna know what those decisions are or what the impact was? I think that shows true character, and I believe those decisions have a greater impact in your life and your future than anything else that you could ever do. If you act with integrity, especially when no one's looking, when no one's gonna know that you did this thing, but you do it anyway because it's the right thing, the world, reciprocity, whatever your faith may or may not be, whatever it is, there is a way that I've seen those people get rewarded beyond what they ever imagined. And I think it's just so crucial, not only for our own peace of mind, right? Just do the right thing. It's not always easy, right? But it's simple. It is very simple. Just do the right thing. We know what's right. We were taught young, right is right, wrong is wrong. It doesn't mean we're not gonna make mistakes, but own up to the mistakes, go back to accept responsibility, and live in integrity. Another quick story on integrity is, I believe Ryan Reagan actually did a speech on this in one of our our town halls that we have, and it really stood out to me. And his speech was on integrity is everything I just said. He agrees, but he had a two-part definition. How often do we have integrity with ourselves? And what he meant by that was, we said we want to do A, B, C today. Are we living in integrity by actually accomplishing A, B, and C? Or are we living in procrastination and say, oh, I'll do that tomorrow? And I think, are we living in integrity by making the right decisions and choices for others? But also, what choices and decisions are we making for ourselves?
Integrity means so much to me, and it is probably the foundation of this team. And I've seen integrity be displayed so many times. And I've been here since the very beginning of this team starting. And there's been lots of times that we've had to always just put integrity first before a sale. And I got my husband, Matt, for a minute. And I remember one time specifically that he got the opportunity to get a multi-million-dollar listing. And in this area, opportunities like that don't come by very often. He had to have a hard conversation with that seller, and it was all out of integrity. And he said, I can't do this. I can't represent you. This is getting in the way of my integrity and what I stand for and the route that we're going down. And he turned that listing down. That was something that was going to be a huge opportunity for not only him, but for our family, for the whole team. But we do things like that because integrity is the foundation of this team. And if we don't have integrity, we don't have a team at all. So integrity is my favorite core value.
So integrity is a non-negotiable core value at Matt Smith Real Estate Group. It is in my opinion, the most important core value at Matt Smith Real Estate Group. And it comes down to doing the right thing, whether someone's watching or not watching. You're always going to do the right thing. It's having that moral compass and the ability to have the self-control to say, that's not right, I'm not going to do it. Or this isn't what's best in the best interest of the clients that we have, and so we're not going to go forward with this. Like, we're going to give advice and we're going to mentor people to where they're at in life. We're not going to try to be shady or anything like that because that's not who we are.
All right, so another one of our core values that is hidden inside of integrity, it's kind of a play on words, is grit. And I think that grit can sometimes be misinterpreted, and sometimes people can mistaken grit for discipline. And I believe that they are separate. So discipline is sticking to your routine, showing up anyway, pushing through. But grit is like, I'm going the extra mile. I had the worst day of my life, but I showed up and I was the best I could be anyway. Despite whatever, I pushed through. And not only did I push through, I did a +1, right? Like, it's one of my favorite books from one of my mentors, from Ed Mylett, is The Power of One More. Do you live your life by you're just skating by, doing the bare minimum? Are you willing to push through, especially when times get tough, to not only do what is required, but do what is required +1? And I think just having that grit to show up and each and every day show up to do what you know you need to do, take it just a little bit further. Those add up over time, and it helps separate yourself from the competition like you wouldn't believe. I mean, as an example, I was very privileged to speak on stage, and one of the things that I talked about, I showed a short clip of Rocky Balboa of talking about how life's not about how you get hit. It's about how many times you can get hit and get back up. You gotta keep pushing forward. You gotta keep moving. That's how winning is done. And I think sometimes we get punched in the mouth by this thing called life, and we fall into the trap of being a victim. We fall into the trap of, well, it's not fair. All these things are happening to me, and I live my life by a quote, life doesn't happen to me, life happens for me. And I think if you really think about everything that's happened in your life, like, we all have struggles, we all have trials and tribulations, and everybody's got a story, and I promise you I have sympathy for your story. So don't mistake that. However, are you gonna get back up? Are you gonna push through? Are you gonna use that story as fuel and motivation to become better? Are you gonna learn from that mistake? Are you going to allow that, whatever that setback may or may not have been, to prevent you from accomplishing your dreams? Or is that gonna be the excuse on why you never accomplished what you were capable of?
When we define grit, what we mean by that is someone that is going to put in a lot of hard work and hustle every day. We want to see you succeed here. And in this industry, it requires a lot of grit. When you're having those good days, you still have to work hard. When you're having the bad days, you still have to work hard. And so grit is important to us to make sure that you are successful in this business that you're doing.
Real estate is and can be a very emotional roller coaster. And I believe grit is so important because you need something that is driving you through your emotions to continue to show up every single day and serve the people that you need to serve. Whether that's your team, your clients that you're working with, the community that you're serving in, you have to have grit in order to get through the long days. You can't let your hard days win. You have to wake up every single day, keep chasing it, keep grinding. There's going to be times where you're going to make 100 phone calls and get hung up on or cussed out or yelled at, and it can be very emotionally draining. But whenever you have that grit and you know that the bigger picture is going to serve your team, yourself, your community, it's worth it. But you have to have grit in order to get through those.
So grit to me means the ability to, for lack of better words, get shit done. It's the ability to see something that needs to be done and doing what it takes to make it happen. It's buckling down, even when it's hard, even when you don't want to. It kind of ties into discipline. Sometimes, it's honestly, all of our core values are like they weave together, but it's being able to see it through to the complete end no matter what. So even if you wake up and you don't want to do it, you do it anyway because you know you need to.
Grit is absolutely essential to be a real estate agent. You're your own boss. You wake up every morning and you either work or you don't work. You have a choice to make. You have to have that grit to motivate yourself, to have those goals and work towards them every single day. You're not clocking in and you're not clocking out. You don't have a boss standing there waiting to see if you're gonna show up. That's on you. You have to have the grit. It's the drive that you have to reach your goals. It's one of the most important things. All of our core values are extremely important and they all just tie together to make you the most successful person possible.